Coyne.
Present.
Senator DeMario.
Present.
Senator Coleman.
Present.
Senator Miller.
Present.
Senator Rogers. Senator Valverde.
Present.
Madam Chair.
Present.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The committee is called to order. I wanted to welcome back our returning members, Committee Secretary Archambault, Senator Coyne, Senator Rogers, and Senator Valverde. I also wanted to welcome the newly appointed committee members, Committee Vice Chair DeMario, Senator Coleman, and returning to our committee, Chairman Miller. So thank you all for being here tonight. And I also wanted to let the members know that we have a new committee clerk joining us tonight. So I wanted to say thank you to Mike Rolls and welcome to the committee. We do have a busy agenda tonight, and between the appointments and reappointments, as well as the legislation in front of us this evening, we have a number of members signed up to testify publicly, and as I'm sure everybody knows, the governor is also going to be giving what is likely her final State of the State address tonight at 7. So I'm going to endeavor to keep the committee moving tonight so we can finish our work in time for the governor's address. However, if we are unable to finish, we will be taking a 40-minute recess while the governor is speaking, and then reconvene after the governor is complete. In order to try to move us efficiently through our business tonight, I will be taking the appointments slightly out of order. We'll start with Mr. Sabatoni and then move on to Mr. Almonte before we move on to the CRMC appointments and finally address the legislation in front of us. And so the first item we have before us is the reappointment of Michael Sabatoni to the Rhode Island Resource Corporation for a term expiring July 1st, 2024. And the purpose of the Rhode Island Resource Recovery is to create a solid waste management corporation which will prepare and implement a plan for integrated statewide system of solid waste management facilities at all. And so, Mr. Sabatoni, welcome to the committee. Good to see you. And I will turn it over to you so you can make some brief remarks to the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Can you hear me correctly?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you.
And members of the committee, I appreciate your time this afternoon on this reappointment. I've had the fortunate civic duty of serving on this board for 11 years, 3 governors, and with the reappointment tonight, fingers crossed, going on my 4th governor. Just a way of background of a lifelong resident of Johnston, Rhode Island, 54 years, or soon to be 54 years in June. My mother's house, I grew up about 5 miles from the landfill, and I currently live about 2.5 miles from the landfill. So I'm pretty intimately involved with the landfill, and have lived with it my whole life, being a resident of the town. And I'm just really proud of the work that we've been able to accomplish. And I've had the opportunity to work with so many talented board members that have come and gone. But I think I'm the longest serving board member, and currently it's chairman. But there's some things that I am really proud of with that agency. As most of you know, especially if you're in Rhode Island, that this agency was marred in controversy and had its issues way back, I'd say prior to 2010. And I was a member of the first board that was appointed by Governor Kucheri to sit and pick up the pieces of this agency. And I think we've done a pretty good job in doing so. And there are a couple of milestones that I wanted to concentrate on in doing my duty and been loving the town of Johnston, and also my civic duty for the taxpayers of the state of Rhode Island. And one was to fix that agency and make it as efficient and as environmentally friendly as possible. Number 2 was to pick Michael Connell's successor, which we now have a new director, and Joe Raposa, who those of you who if you have had the opportunity to work with, I think you would say is a tremendous asset to our agency and to the state of Rhode Island. And number 3, which is still a lot of work to do, is to solve the long-term solid waste issues for the state of Rhode Island. As you know, the landfill is running out of airspace. Good news lately, we've been able to squeeze probably 5 more years of airspace, unfortunately, with the downturn in the pandemic and certain technologies and compaction and other things that we've relied upon. But there are going to be some difficult decisions going forward on what we're going to do to solve the long-term solid waste issues of the state of Rhode Island. And that's one of the things I want to try and accomplish before at some point I end my civic duty of serving on this board. But I am proud of what we've accomplished. And I think the citizens of the town of Johnston would say, the nuisance odors and things of that nature are very few and far between. And it's a far cry of what I remember growing up and going through some difficult times as a resident of that town and living in close proximity. So I appreciate your time. I filled out the questionnaire. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Appreciate the consideration to be reappointed. I really take it to heart to sit on that board again, especially with all the things that I have mentioned. And, it's personal to me to make sure that facility is not only run efficiently for the taxpayers of the state, for the town residents, but also, taking into consideration the environmental impacts. And again, we've got some tough decisions to make going forward, but we're prepared to make them. And with that, I will stop. I know we've got a long agenda, and I'll be glad to answer any questions. And thank you for the consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Sabatoni. I appreciate those remarks, and I appreciate the comment too. This committee has definitely been talking about and addressing the issues around the landfill capacity, so I appreciate you flagging that for us. And it's good to hear that that's one of your goals. And I will also say for the committee and anyone who's watching, the public, I think the cycle of waste and how things end up in the landfill is actually quite fascinating and a huge problem that we have to be cognizant of. And Resource Recovery actually does tours, and I actually have been there for a tour because it's really fascinating, the technology that has been utilized and expanded over the years to try to address these problems. So with that, I just wanted to open it up to any members of the committee if you had any comment or question for this nominee. Okay, seeing none, I will entertain a motion for consideration.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
See a motion from Senator Archambault and a second from, I believe, Senator DeMario and Senator Coleman. Thank you. And Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll vote?
Senator Archambault.
Yes.
Senator Coyne.
Yes.
Senator DeMario.
Yes.
Senator Coleman.
Yes.
Senator Miller.
Yes.
Senator Rogers.
Yes.
Senator Valverde.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
We have 8 members in the affirmative.
Thank you. We have a unanimous support of Mr. Sabatoni's full advice and consent to move forward to the entire Senate chamber. Congratulations, Mr. Sabatoni, and thank you for your willingness to serve.
Well, thank you and your confidence in me, and I appreciate and look forward to working with each and every one of you to continue the good work. So thank you.
Thank you. The next item we have before us is the appointment of Ernest Almonte, Vice Bruce Campbell, to the Narragansett Bay Commission for a term expiring April 1st, 2024. And the purpose of the Narragansett Bay Water Quality aka the Narragansett Bay Commission, includes acquiring, planning, constructing, extending, improving, and operating and maintaining publicly owned sewage treatment facilities in the district. And the Narragansett Bay Commission is governed by a 19-member Board of Commissions, which is appointed by mayors and administrators, as well as 10 gubernatorial appointments. Thank you, Mr. Almonte, for your willingness to serve. I look forward to hearing more about you. We've received your packet of information. This will be a first-time appointment, so I welcome you to give opening remarks and addressing the committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I thank you for the opportunity to be considered to be on the board of the Narragansett Bay Commission. I believe my education, my experience, and my ethics make me uniquely qualified to serve on this board. I have 17 years as the Auditor General, where I work with the legislature and audited all the government agencies and quasi-publics including oversight over Narragansett Bay Commission during my term. I'm a certified public accountant. I'm a certified government financial manager. And I really believe that my passion for finance, the government, and the environment make me uniquely qualified to serve here. And I respectfully request that you consider me for this appointment. I know it's stretched for time, but I'm willing to answer any questions anybody has of me.
Thank you, Mr. Almonte. I appreciate your willingness to serve, and I just wanted to raise one issue that I know had been discussed on Twitter, but just for the purposes of today's meeting. I know that you had been recently living in Florida, but that you've now relocated to Rhode Island. And so, yes, so I wanted to just...
Yes, Madam Chair, I am a resident of Rhode Island now. I bought a coat and a snow shovel, so.
Thank you. And do any other members of the committee have a question? Senator Rogers.
Mr. Almonte, did you move back to Situate as being one of my constituents? On
I actually to Smithfield, so I'm nearby.
He's all yours, Steve.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Senator Archambault.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. On the heels of my brother, Senator Rogers' warmth, I want to welcome Ernie to the committee, and it's a pleasure to have him as a constituent. I was at his house campaigning actually this summer, and what a beautiful house he has, and a great family. And his resume is something else. It really speaks for itself, and I'm not trying to give any flattery here or fluff, but if you really look at the package, I mean, it's second to none. Just like Michael Sabatoni's got a tremendous amount of institutional knowledge, and he brings such a valuable degree of wisdom to the table in a board where it's necessary. It's the same thing here with Ernie, and I'm just glad that he's chosen to contribute, because that's such an important committee and commission, excuse me. And I just want to welcome the committee. It's a pleasure to have him involved, and I'm honored that he's chosen to give his time to the commission. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Archambault. Are there any other comments from the committee members or questions from committee members? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion for consideration of the appointment. Senator Archambault moves the appointment of Ernest Almonte to the Narragansett Bay Commission.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Coyne and Senator Rogers. And Mr. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Senator Archambault.
Yes.
Senator Coyne.
Yes.
Senator DeMario.
Yes.
Senator Coleman.
Yes.
Senator Miller.
Yes.
Senator Rogers.
Yes.
Senator Valverde.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Madam Chair, we have 8 in the affirmative and 0 in the negative.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, and congratulations, Mr. Almonte. You've received unanimous support from this committee, and your name will be forwarded to the entire Senate for advice and consent.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. Thank you.